I came here for 3 reasons. One was to optimize my Japanese fluency.
Okay.
To optimize it.
Okay.
The second goal was to get, when I first got there, like, I got heads turning all the time. Like, people just like, yo, what?
Welcome to the Melanated Files. In this series, we highlight and share the stories of black people from across the globe. Remember to subscribe to this channel for weekly videos and also follow us on social media for regular updates. Let's get into the interview. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of the Melanated Files. Today I'm joined by Miles Davis, all right? International social entrepreneur and of course English teacher. Y'all know how it is. So we're gonna get into his story a little bit today, right?
Cool.
We're gonna unpack his story a little bit, find out why he's in Japan, right? What has his experience been like so far? We're gonna jump right into the questions.
Cool.
Right? So Miles, why did you come to Japan?
Why did I come to Japan?
Yeah.
So, background about myself.
Yeah.
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
I started at my school. I went to a private school.
Okay.
St. Paul's School for Boys.
Okay.
And
sounds very private.
It's very private. Very private.
Okay.
Very private. However, at my school, they offered 2 languages: Spanish and Japanese.
Oh wow, what a combination! It's usually Spanish and French, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I took 1 year of Spanish in first grade, or second grade, and then the next year, 3rd grade, I came to this private school.
Okay.
Everybody was doing Spanish. I'm like, I want to be a little different.
Oh, nice.
So I was thinking about the future, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, black dude, might be able to speak Japanese in the future. I might as well learn how to learn Japanese. So I had this desire to learn Japanese, so I studied Japanese from 3rd grade all the way to 2015.
Oh wow!
Got my minor in it in college.
Yeah.
And then I came to Japan in 2009 for a baseball trip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so after that baseball trip, I was only here for 10 days.
Were you playing or were you spectating?
I was playing.
Oh, okay.
I was playing.
So what position do you play? Like
I played second base and shortstop.
Okay.
So middle infield.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And Japan is big with baseball.
Japan's big with baseball.
Okay.
Yeah. So we played a couple baseball teams in Tokyo, Kyoto, and Yokohama area. And then I was like, yo, this country is so cool.
Yeah.
I gotta come back. So it's been my dream for the last 10 years to move to Japan and live here for at least a year.
Okay.
So that's why I'm here.
Okay, nice. All right. So how was it in terms of Japanese when you were studying it and you came here? Did you find any difference? Because I know they use a lot of colloquial terms. It's not as formal, and they usually teach very formal Japanese, right?
Yeah.
They insist on doing that.
Exactly. So I studied the very formal Japanese. So and where I live now in Okayama Prefecture, they speak way differently than they do here in Tokyo. So I think Tokyo is a little more up here, but in Okayama it's a little more countryside. So like little country grammar down there. So when I went down there, I'm speaking to them in my best Japanese. They're like, whoa, don't talk to us like that. Like, you're up here. You need to bring it down here.
Okay.
So
too formal, kind of like.
Too formal. So I had to relearn so much Japanese that I forgot, or that I did not really know to come here with. You know, so I had to relearn so much and unpack my Japanese, unlearn, relearn things. So now I'm finally getting to the point where I can speak a little bit more and speak a little bit better and understand things more.
It's like a different language, right?
It really is.
It's like I spoke to some guys on the street, and they're like, it's better to learn Japanese in the street versus in a classroom, right? Because it's different, or it sounds different. Because as a language learner, for you, it's like, but they said, say it like this, and then when you go on, you're like, they're just saying a part of the word, and sometimes like, what? I said, you don't know, it sounds different to you, but to a Japanese person, they might be able to unpack it. Okay, like it's just like a colloquial term, or they shorten it. But I get it. What are your ambitions for life in Japan?
For life in Japan, so I came here for 3 reasons. One was to optimize my Japanese fluency. Okay. To optimize it. Okay. The second goal was to get my clothing brand, The Superiors, in stores in Japan. And I've completed that goal already.
Nice.
So that was really great.
Okay, cool.
My third goal was to sell my shea butter, shea butter business, sell my shea butter to Japanese countries, Japanese companies. Yeah. Because Japan is one of the top 5 largest importers of shea butter in the world.
Oh wow, I never knew that. That's news. Okay.
I knew there was a market, so I'm like, those are my 3 goals that I want to do while coming here.
Okay. So the man came with a plan. Okay. The man has he's like, listen, have my plan, and already you're pretty much like on your way. What, all 3, right?
Yeah, I'm getting Japanese is getting there. Yeah, getting there. the clothing business, I'm in stores in Hokkaido. Check it out in Hakadote, something like that.
We'll drop it in the link down below.
We'll drop the link.
Okay.
And then the clothing brand, I've been doing some pop-up shops. I mean, the shea butter, I've been doing pop-up shops, selling it to people, but I haven't gotten it in stores yet, and I haven't sold to Japanese companies yet, but we're working on it.
So what was the barrier like? Because I'm like, some people in their mind, they feel like it's really hard to break in, but it sounds like you literally like, you've infiltrated. Was that like, was there a lot of like roadblocks or hurdles?
It took a while. I wanted to do my first clothing release back in the fall, but I had some issues where I couldn't make that happen. So I'm like, dang, it's not going as planned, but it's okay. I have time while I'm here, so let me just wait a little bit more, get some more money, and find an event to have a pop-up shop at, which was Tokyo Love Hotels. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are killing the game. Tokyo Love Hotels. That was my first pop-up shop event. So it really took like me meeting more people, coming to Tokyo. Tokyo was the first event, the first place I did an event. You know, finding where the community was, finding where the creative scene was to meet people. I kind of have this entrepreneurship mentality where like I have to make something happen. So if I want to make it happen, I have to make it happen. So there were roadblocks at first, but I just knew, okay, I just need more time. So I just had to be patient and execute.
That's good. Like that mindset is extremely important. It's very, very important. I think.
Thank you.
It's. Yeah, you're really entrepreneurial, and it's not even just like in your like the stuff that you want to do. You're actually doing it, so you're actually executing, which is super important. Execution is like of paramount importance, and it's like a lot of people as well. They're going after something and they meet a roadblock and they see that as we spoke about this on the podcast, me and my wife. Like if something is hard to acquire, they feel like okay, maybe it's not meant to be. When anything that's worthwhile is usually challenging, right? You want to lose weight, it's going to take you. You want to start a business, you ain't going to make money for a while. It depends on the type of business, because in some business you can start making money really quick. But it really depends on what you're doing, and some people take that as like a roadblock. But as you said, as Miles said just now, this thing was there, but he found a way around it. Patience, hard work, consistency, and just having this mentality of never giving up. That's the way. Is that the way you see it?
Yeah.
Like never giving up, right?
That's how I see it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like one person told me about business in life. The only way you're gonna fail is if you stop or is if you quit. So if you keep going, you can't fail. You'll fail, but you'll win again. You know, so like it's like you never fail.
Failing forward.
Failing forward. That's it. Failing forward. Exactly.
You know, I like this guy. The mindset. Like we think along similar lines. It's pretty good. I like that. It's good. It's and I hope you guys take this in. Right, and maybe you can even tell them how long you've been here, so they can actually see the timeline that you've done this within like what? Within like a year. So within like the span of a year, you've done this so far. Right?
I got here September 1st. I did my first pop-up shop in August 13th. I mean April 13th, and then I did another pop-up shop in Osaka in May. I did another pop-up shop in my town in June, and then it's my fourth pop-up shop in June. Back in Tokyo. So you see that. I like these stories. It's like I love this so much. I'm like I want to go so deep, but I'm like I gotta stay on track a little bit with the questions. But this is something I think a lot of people need to understand. Mentality is a huge part of it, right? I don't want to really talk about myself really because it's about you, but it's like it's something that your mentality, the way you see things, it really helps, right? It does.
Yeah, what you're doing reminds me of like some stuff I did in Canada. Just the way like I was just, but I don't want to get into it too much. But it's like you just want to do something. You're like, this is what you're going to be doing.
Right.
And you have the goal in your mind, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I have to make it work, and you find a way to make it work. So let's explore that type of mindset a little bit more. In terms of what's the best life advice you've received? You said one just now, which is failing forward in terms of business. Is there one that sticks out in your mind, or do you have like a quote or something that you live by, a maxim or something?
I feel like, I don't know if I can like put it in words, like in a quote, but like I live by philosophies of like water, like being like water. I think like Bruce Lee said that exactly. You just got to keep flowing and keep going. Like if there's an obstacle, find your way around it. Like we're on this path. Like water is always moving. is never stopping, and that's kind of how we are. Like our energy is always flowing, always moving. Like we always can grow and help things grow and sustain life and, you know, be life itself. So I feel like having a mindset and like thinking like, okay, how can I just keep going? What can I do to like keep moving forward? Yeah. Even if I have a goal, like get to my goal, but once you get past your goal, like even once a tiny droplet gets to the ocean, like it's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going somewhere. You know, so like exactly. So we just gotta keep flowing, keep going somewhere. And yeah, just take it as far as we can. Right,
that's the goal of life, right? So I wanna, in my mind, I'm thinking about the vegan, like you were vegan. So I discovered that it was vegan because I was gonna buy something not too long ago, and he's like, I'm vegan. I'm like, snap. I'm like, how do you do that in Japan? Because I tried it for 3 weeks. I lost so much muscle. I lost muscle mass, so I had to stop. Were you a vegan before you came to Japan?
Yeah, I was vegan before I came to Japan. I turned vegan, I think like August 2017, around that time. Okay. Yeah, man, moving to Japan was really difficult. The first couple of weeks, because like I studied Japanese, but like I forgot a lot of Japanese too.
Understood.
And same like the grocery stores were overwhelming. So all I was looking for was just like vegetables, things I could see. Yes. Like, okay, that's a pepper, let me get that. This is spinach, let me get that. This is rice, let me get that. For the first like month and a half, 2 months, all I was eating was rice bowls. Oh wow! Every single day, I'm like, I'm gonna just make rice bowls.
And what did you have on it? Just rice?
Like, just rice and like vegetables, like spinach, like
steamed vegetables,
steamed
right?
vegetables, steamed vegetables. Yeah, and like I didn't even, and maybe some soy sauce. I didn't have no like sweet chili sauce at that point. Yeah, and I'm like, dang, like yo, I gotta figure something out. This is difficult. So like,
were you hungry all the time or no?
Nah, I wasn't hungry all the time, but like I like definitely developed some stomach issues because I'm eating the same thing over and over. Like if it's not a rice bowl, it's a rice ball. From the convenience store. Oh man. And because of that, I'm like, yo, I gotta figure something out. So one day I was in my class, I was teaching my students, my adult students. Yeah. And so like I'm like, yeah, blah blah blah, I'm vegan. They're like, oh, what can you eat? I'm like, yeah, I eat this, I eat rice, vegetables. They're like, oh, do you eat beans? I'm like, yeah, but I can't find any here. Yeah. They're like, oh, what? We farm them. Like, let me bring you some. Okay, cool. So they brought me black beans. And I was like, yo, I eat black beans all the time. Yeah. So like, I was like, I can't find them in the store. They were like, okay, they wrote the kanji for me. Yeah. So I found them in the store. And then from there on, I was just like, you know what, let me take my time in the grocery store and like really try to find things. Yeah. So like now it's a lot easier to eat. So you're like almost a pro right now. So I don't know about pro, but it's getting better. So, okay, so any tips for people who might be vegan, who are super nervous about coming to Japan, like maybe certain things that you learned after a few months that you're like, okay, do this, do this, do this. If you're just traveling or if you're in a big city and you want to go to a restaurant, use Happy Cow. Happy Cow is a great app. It allows you to find vegan and vegetarian restaurants in any city in the world. That's dope. Okay. In my town, there's not too many. Okay. But whenever I come to Tokyo or Osaka, I'm always using that app so I can find some restaurants. Okay. In terms of like cooking, I don't know. I just like my vegetables. So like, I'll just say go to the fresh vegetable produce aisle.
How do you do it with fruits? Because I love fruit, right? But it's super expensive. So like, how is it in Okayama? Like, tell us about like,
Yeah, sure. They're a lot cheaper, I think. They're a lot cheaper. Like I posted this story on Instagram a while ago, but like one day like I went to grocery shop and I got like so many bananas and grapes, watermelon, dragon fruit, like mango, and all these fresh vegetables, and like it was only like only like $30 US. What? And like it was a lot of food. It sustained me like all week, and those are just like fruits.
That's not in Tokyo, okay?
It's not in Tokyo.
That will not work. Like a watermelon is like $30.
That's true. That's true. But now I found this for low.
Or $20, right?
Yeah. Way too expensive here in Tokyo.
Yeah. So tell us about Okayama. Like I interviewed, I think, one other person from that area. Okay. So tell me about like how is it it's in the countryside, right?
Yeah, it's countryside.
So tell us about the area a little bit. Just describe it. What's life like there?
Yeah, Okayama. One is beautiful. Okay. Like every time I pull into Okayama, like especially my town, I'm like, wow, like this place is beautiful. Wow. They call it Harekuni, which is sunny country, because it's usually always sunny. Like the side of the mountain we're on is like always sunny.
You see a lot of like, is it like a mountainous terrain? Like
so many mountains everywhere, so many lush green mountains everywhere. We got rivers flowing everywhere. Like it's actually a really beautiful place.
Sounds nice. No, I want to move now. I feel like I want to go there. Like
you should visit. You should go for an escape.
Yeah.
Go for an escape. But like, I feel like for me, I want to move to Tokyo because I want to be in a more active scene. Life is kind of slow there. So like, yeah, it looks beautiful in the day. I have my day job, but like, say for the weekend, like I want to do something. Like, I just go to the izakaya that I always go to every weekend.
How far is Tokyo from there in terms of like traveling?
Very far. Like, I usually take the night bus. The night bus is 8 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is it the one that's like $30 or something?
Nah, it's like round trip is like $160, $180.
Oh, okay, so it's the comfortable one. Oh my.
Yeah,
okay.
It's kind of comfortable.
I tried to take a night bus from Osaka once. I think I survived for 1 hour.
1 hour?
I had to get off.
You got off?
I got off, bro. I got off in Kyoto and took a Shinkansen.
Really?
I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I think I did one from Shizuoka to Tokyo at one point. And I was so uncomfortable, like a round trip. And I promised myself, like, never again. But I was trying to go the cheap route. I'm like, let me try to save some money and take the night bus from Osaka to Tokyo. It was like 10 hours, bro. I lasted 1 hour. I could not, because like, my legs, like, it was right on the back of the next seat.
Where you were, okay.
And I couldn't, there was no armrest on the side, so I was just like, and I was so tired. I'm like, nah.
I know that bus. Bro, that's not comfortable.
Nah, it was, listen. Yeah, if you really are strapped for cash, it's a lifesaver, but you're gonna be so uncomfortable. I got off, bro, and I had to wait until the next day because the last Shinkansen had left. So I was like, anyway. But at least I got to explore Kyoto.
Yeah,
so that's the upside.
That's the upside.
But yeah, so the night bus, so 10 hours.
Yeah, 10 hours.
Is it 8 or 10? 8 or?
8 hours. 8 hours. 8 hours. Wow. But it's pretty far. It's a pretty long trip. But I sleep pretty comfortably on there. Okay. So I'm used to it by now.
Yeah, that's a decent bus, okay?
Yeah, decent bus.
Let's get into your black experience a little bit.
Okay.
Right? So what has that been like, being black in Japan, especially you're not in Tokyo?
Right.
So
right.
my assumption is that they don't see many black people in Okayama.
They don't.
So what was that like, your initial impression when you walked in? What was the reaction, and now that you've been there for a bit, what's that like?
Yeah. I mean, when I first got there, like, I got heads turning. Other time, like, people just like, yo, what? Especially because of my hair, like, I got kind of big hair and like kind of wild hair, so people definitely aren't used to, one, seeing black people, and seeing people with this hair. Yeah. So I just got kids like riding their bikes and just like,
no crashes, right?
Yeah, no crashes, no crashes. And then like, there's people just looking for a long time. I got used to it after a while. It didn't really bother me because I realized, okay, y'all just don't see black people. Like, that's cool. As long as y'all aren't being mean to me, like, I don't mind. That's okay. From a lot of my kids, like, they just want to touch my hair all the time. Yeah. And like, they're kids, so like, sometimes I'm like, okay, sure. But when they get a little too hands-on, I'm like, all right, chill out. Chill out. But like, I've had some experiences, I'd say, in like Okayama City. They haven't been too welcoming. Like especially from like younger people. Like, really? Yeah. I'm
like really in like teenagers or
like, maybe like teenage years. Yeah. Like in high school. Like one time I got off a train and like I walked like coming down the elevator and there was this group of kids outside and they just saw me and started laughing. I'm like, yo, what? Like, what is that? Like, what do you mean by that? But like, I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird experience. It was a weird experience.
It's funny that you said that because the person I interviewed from Okayama, that was something that she said.
Really?
That they laughed at her, in Okayama. I'm not sure if it was a city, but that happened to her. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but okay. But no one feels good when someone laughs at you because in your mind you're searching, like, why? Is there something on my face? Like what?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's when you laugh at someone like that, it's like you offend the person.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter who they are. You're like, okay, like, right?
Right, exactly. Okay. So that wasn't the best experience, but like usually I don't find that in my town. Okay. I think by now people are used to me. I've been featured in my local magazine.
Oh, nice.
In like our region, Okayama magazine. So like people are familiar with my face nowadays.
Sort of like a celebrity now, eh?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
But you can check me out in Jacket magazine.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the general attitude in your mind, from your experience, of course, in terms of black people in Japan? What do you think the general attitude is?
General attitude from whose perspective? My perspective?
From the Japanese
perspective. You know, I think it can be like, it's kind of very complex. I can find some people like really like black people, like especially young black people. I mean, young Japanese people who are into like the hip hop culture. They love seeing black people. They love it so much they'll try to get dreads, or like they'll try to get afro or braids, which is very strange. Every time I see it, it's very, very strange.
Really?
It's strange, man. Like, I'm like, yo, you know your hair cannot do that, but like still you go to the salon to get your hair like that.
Well, I guess it's this love thing for some people.
Yeah.
So I've seen like maybe just a few that rock it well. Like a few people that I don't know if it's fake or it's a wig or something. But I see, and like your hair, some people have that same type of curly hair as well. I'm not sure if it's real or not.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I've seen like some Japanese women with like that, the curls.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if it's real.
They have to go to the salon and get a perm just to get like this. Because their hair naturally cannot get like this.
Okay.
So
unless they're like mixed with something.
Yeah, unless they're mixed with something. So it's I always find it very strange.
Okay. You don't see it as like them trying to like emulate the culture in a way?
No, they're definitely trying to emulate the culture. They definitely are. But it's just strange. Like, I don't know how else to see it. Say it. But like I said, they love like hip hop culture. So those are the ones who like love,
and they gravitate towards you.
Exactly.
They're
like,
oh,
yeah, they're like, yo, what's up? Yo, what up?
Yeah, and they do that really hip hop type.
Yeah.
Like they speak a certain way. I'm like,
yeah,
you can just talk normal, yo.
Yeah,
right?
just talk normally. Sometimes they try too hard.
Yeah. So if you guys are watching, and you can speak English. Just be normal. It's fine. You don't have to be like, yo, what up, yo, kind of thing.
Exactly. Right? We don't speak like that all the time.
When they say I'm from Jamaica, they're like, oh, Bob Marley, or some of them say, oh, ganja. This one dude just shouted ganja. And you're like, what? Bro, really? Oh, ganja.
Ganja,
I'm like,
right? You know it, right? Yeah.
But it's cool. Some of them are cool, right?
Yeah, some of them are cool.
But I prefer those encounters. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I would say maybe from like older people, I could see sometimes people, like black people, don't get the best responses from older people. Like, I've heard many experiences where like people have like who are fluent in Japanese, like black people who are fluent, they'll like hear Japanese people talking about them, and it's just like, yo, I can hear you, I can understand what you're saying, and like the Japanese people are taken aback because they're like, oh, sorry, but not sorry I was saying something bad, sorry you understood what I was saying. You know, so it's like experiences like those also are not cool, and like I feel like oftentimes Japanese people, like, they definitely otherize foreigners and black people, and I feel like black people, like, it's because we're used to that throughout the world, like we can't stand for it anymore. So like a lot of times, like if you do understand, like you got to speak back, you got to say something back. So it always feels like we have to defend our space. And throughout the world, we have to defend who we are, where we are, and like, yo, I'm here, I'm visible, I can understand what you're saying, I'm here too, you know, I'm trying to live my life too. Like, I also heard, like, especially in Tokyo, like, in Japan in general, there's no discrimination laws, and I heard, like, from one of my mentors yesterday, like, he was telling me about some experiences. He was trying to find, there's this newcomer, new black melanated person coming to Japan, and he was trying to help that person find an apartment. And like he's pretty fluent in Japanese. He called the people, he's like, yo, I got a guy trying to live in Japan, he's looking for an apartment. And people are like, nah, okay, that's fine, but we don't want black people in our apartment building.
They said specifically black people?
They said that. They said we don't want black people living in this apartment.
Wow.
And it's crazy. This is my first time, like, I'm not from Tokyo. I don't live here. I don't really know what goes on here that much.
Wow. So
I guess that happens often.
I know about foreigners overall, but you're saying they were specific.
Yeah. They were specific.
Oh wow.
From what I was told from this person, they were specific.
Did he say the area? Like was it Shinjuku or Shibuya?
I'm not sure.
But it's Tokyo though.
Yeah, it's Tokyo.
Okay, like central. Is it central?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Wow. So yeah, that's something that is. No one wants that.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So it's... How would you compare the experience between being here versus being back home in the States? In terms of your blackness, like how is it received?
How is it received? I mean, like, of course, like, back in the States, you have more black people. So, like, when you're in an environment around a lot of black people, like my hometown, mainly black people. So, like, when I'm back home and I'm surrounded in my neighborhood by black people, by my family, my friends, our community, like, it's comfortable, you know, it feels comfortable. Obviously, if I go outside of that and go towards where there are more white-dominated spaces, like, you know, you got to hold your own wherever you are. So you got to hold your own, and you got to make yourself comfortable so you can navigate that space. But, you know, there's always now I feel like the racial tensions in America with the political era right now in the States is not healthy for black people. That's my opinion.
Okay.
That's my opinion. So being in Japan, and especially where I am, like, it's very calm, it's very quiet. I don't have to deal with nonsense like that.
So you feel a little bit detached?
I feel detached.
And maybe insulated as well? Or?
I feel detached, but I feel safe. I feel pretty safe here. There are often times in America where I didn't feel safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you prefer your existence here versus in your homeland? How would you compare that?
I prefer my existence. Like,
I
prefer being in Japan right now. During this political climate, I prefer being in Japan right now.
Okay, understood. Understood.
And I prefer not being in America right now.
That's pretty big, eh? And it's funny because it seems like this is is the consensus between people from America who are watching the videos. Like, I see comments where I'm like, snap, like people are saying they want to leave. Like people are like, I'm fed up, I want to leave. And like, snap, like, can you imagine where you were born and bred? The soil is yours, pretty much, right? You feel like you're not home in your home. Right. So you want to find it. Can you imagine? It's a crazy reality.
It is a crazy reality.
Right? It's almost like those people were fleeing from those war-torn countries to, like, you know, seeking asylum. It's almost wow.
Yeah, I've met a lot of people, even white people, like even people just from America. I've met in Japan. I'm like, yo, why'd you guys move? They're like, man, I couldn't stay there. Like, once Trump got elected, I had to go.
Wow. What's the biggest lesson you've learned in life so far?
There's a couple things. Rest if you must, but don't you quit. That's one thing I've learned.
Okay.
My mother and my uncle tell me this all the time. They say, stay hungry, never get full. So that's just to keep going, to, you know, if you want to fulfill something, fulfill it. Yeah. But keep going. Yeah. Like, that's not it. What else do you have? My father also, like, when I was younger, he pushed me hard to play sports and he taught me to be a man. Yes. Like, he was always pushing me. So, like, I'm grateful for his experience because, like, his teachings allow me to get through a lot of things. They allow me to push harder, like, to go harder. And so, like, he literally would be like, what you got, man? Like, what you got? Yeah. So, like, I gotta say to myself, what do I have? Like, what can I give? What else can I get? You know, so try to do more, be more. There was a couple of life lessons from some family members that helped me along the way. Oh,
that's good. You know, that the one about staying hungry is important because sometimes if you feel too full, you get complacent.
Yeah, it's
right?
true.
And then I believe personally that we never stand still. Like, someone might feel like, okay, they have arrived. But in my mind, I don't think you stay where you are. It's either you are progressing or regressing. Right. Like, I never, like, it's like if you're like, okay, I'm cool here, I'm good. I'm like, nah, bro. Right. If you're not practicing, like, you're getting rusty. Yeah, it's true. Just like the Japanese, the language, if you're not practicing, like, you're losing it. You understand? Like, if you're not out there running, working out, you're losing all that gain. So you got to keep moving forward, right? And maybe if you got to rest a little bit, but rest not too long. Right. Not too long. So the goal in life, I believe, is to make measurable progress in a reasonable time. Right. And just keep pushing. Right. And yes, it's good. Like, you know, like, that's a good one. Some solid advice. Right, so I guess those can be maybe the best life lesson.
Yeah, and another one I learned from the nations of 5% Nation, to be self-sufficient. I think learning about self-sufficiency really allowed me to do for self and to progress self a lot and not to wait for other people to do things. Yes. So I think self-sufficiency gets you very far in life because at the end of the day, you wake up with yourself, you die with yourself, in your own body. Yeah. So you got to learn to be with yourself. Yeah. and to grow with yourself.
Yeah, that's big. That's important. Like, yeah, I have that mindset where, that's what I'm saying. You're kind of like the mindset we're similar in ways. Because it's like, if you want to get something done and someone else won't do it, or you can't get any assistance, you got to find a way to do it.
Yeah,
so it's either you do it or you just don't do it.
Yeah.
And who's that going to benefit if you don't do it?
Right.
It's not going to benefit you.
Right.
So you got to find a way. So yeah, so that's good advice, right? some good advice. So tell me about your earliest memory. What was your earliest memory? The very first memory that comes to your mind.
The very first memory I have in my mind. I was born in Illinois. I was living in Chicago. I was a baby. I remember the earliest memory I have is waking up, and I was asleep. I was at like daycare or something like that. I was like, my brother's sleeping next to me, like kids sleeping, but like Gumbo's on TV. Do you remember that? Is that Gumby? You know Gumby?
I don't know, the name's so familiar.
Some little green cartoon thing.
Oh, I can't.
It's Gumby.
Yeah.
It was on the screen. That's all I remember. That was the earliest memory I have.
Yeah?
That's it. I don't remember. I probably went back to sleep after that.
Oh, wow.
That was the earliest memory I have.
Oh. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I never asked this question. Any funny stories about life in Japan being black? Like any funny stories, something that make you laugh when you think about it?
Yeah. Like my kids call me Moja Sensei. And kids are kids, so like kids are funny. Like sometimes they know not what they do, but like sometimes
what does that mean?
It means like they don't like Moja. Well, someone told me it means what's the word, like nappy.
Okay.
Someone told me it means nappy, but like thank you. They also like they don't know like they also say fwa like in Japanese. They're just words to like describe something, and like yes, they probably have some bad connotation towards them.
Yeah.
But like my kids, they probably don't know that.
Okay.
So like I don't think that deeply of it.
Thank you.
But like that's funny. Like when my kids call me that, or they call me, my name is Miles, so my kids will call me Mayonnaise Sensei, like just laughing, like
oh, that mayonnaise, like
yeah. So most of my funny stories come from my kids because they're just so funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's more innocent type stuff.
Yeah, some innocent, funny stuff.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Like, where is there somewhere in Okayama that you think, or Japan overall, that you think people should visit? Like you would say, this place is a must visit.
I'd say Tokyo.
Okay. What about Okayama? Like if I wanna go there, like where should I go?
Okayama. You should, I heard there's an island called Nakashima. It's like right off the coast of Okayama.
Okay.
It might still be considered part of Okayama Prefecture. I've never been there actually, but I've heard from other people that it's like one of the best places to go in Okayama. So I recommend going there.
Okay.
There's Kurashiki.
Okay.
Kurashiki is a dope spot. It has a very like old Japanese type of vibe to it. It has like this canal and like traditional Japanese like wood paper houses and stuff like that. And there's a castle right by there. So that's a really cool spot to go to as well. If you want to come, Tsuyama, my town. Come to Tsuyama for Hana Matsuri, and for Hanami, the cherry blossom festival. We have one of the best cherry blossom festivals in Japan.
Oh wow!
Like people come from all over just to come to our town because at our castle, it's like on this hill. We have like over 1,000 cherry blossom trees on this small hill. So people come. It's a week-long event, or 10 days or something like that. It's really beautiful, really beautiful. We have
beautiful.
Yeah, we got like taiko performances, like the drums, like other events and stuff going on along with that. It's pretty cool. It's very, very beautiful.
Like for some reason the name itself sounds like a beautiful spot. Like
Tsuyama.
And even like Okayama. Like I don't know, for some reason in my mind I'm just seeing this like blue water and just like green lush mountains.
Definitely green lush mountains for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What's your favorite Japanese food?
Kitsune udon. Because it's mainly one of the very few things that I can eat, Japanese food. But also like vegetable gyoza, if they have it. I've only found spots in Tokyo that have it. I haven't found any other places that have it. But I also like, in Hiroshima, they have their famous okonomiyaki. But they have a vegetable one.
Okay, nice.
So those are my 3 favorites.
Okay, cool. Okay, in my mind, I'm like, how does he do it, guys? Like being vegan in Japan, I tried it. I lost so much weight, so much muscle mass. I was eating at Ripple in Shinjuku. True. There's another place I can't remember. I think it's called, I can't remember the name, but they have a ramen spot here in Shinjuku. Ramen, like vegan ramen.
Oh, where?
It's really good. It's like $16, kind of expensive.
Oh, okay.
But like they got dragon fruit in it. It's really good.
Dragon fruit?
Yeah, bro, it's good. Like you gotta try it. Yeah, you got
fruit.
You got ramen and a lot of other like dragon fruit and a lot of other like vegetables and stuff. Yeah, you gotta try it.
Okay.
It's good, and the customer service there is one of the best I've encountered in Japan.
Okay.
It's in literally Shinjuku, so you can find it. Trust me, you should try it. Since you probably haven't had ramen before, like Japanese ramen.
I did, but I got very sick. The first day I was here, I got very sick.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah. No, that place is good. I'm telling you, like,
where?
The ratings are really, really high. It's one of the top spots.
I'm gonna check it out.
All right. So, we got the food thing. So tell me, what do you like the most about Japan? What's that one thing that you can say, man, I really like this about Japan?
I really like the nature.
Okay.
I'm a big nature guy. I really like the nature, especially in my town. Like, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, every time I pull up, I'm just like, wow, I'm blessed to be here.
Wow.
So I like that.
I want to go. I gotta go.
You should come. You should come to Okayama. But especially like in Tokyo, I really love the creative scene. Like, it's so cool here. Like, and the community here is so supportive. Like. Like, people usually come from like all around the world just to live in Tokyo and like be a part of this community, this creative community. I've met people from all over at some events, and like they're real cool people. Like, they're so supportive. Like, they'll buy your stuff if you do a pop-up shop. They'll come to your pop-up shop, hang out with you, show love. So I like the creative scene. Yeah, I like the creative scene. So those are my two favorites.
Okay. What about on the downside? What's that thing that you just it rubs you the wrong way?
Rubs me the wrong way? There's a lot of ignorance in Japan. Too much ignorance in Japan about foreign people, and especially about black people. Like I know there was some event, in Osaka. Like, they just, like, the name of the event was a bad word for black people. Like, why would you?
I saw the post somewhere.
Yeah, you saw that post? I saw that post. I was like, what?
And I think it was actually ran by Japanese people, right?
Yeah, it was ran by Japanese people. So like that's ignorance. Like, them not knowing that it's a bad word. They just think it's a part of hip hop. Because hip hop rappers say it, black people say it, they think it's cool. It's not cool. Too much ignorance. Ignorance about like black people and their culture, our hair, like questions, like just silly questions about our skin.
Intrusive questions.
Yeah, intrusive questions as well. I think ignorance plays a huge part and really like gets under a lot of black people's skin out here. And I think people should be more educated. Japanese people should be more educated about other cultures. Because yes, Japan is on an island. Yes, you're very Japanese. You have your strong cultural ties to your country and keeping things within. But like, you should really learn more about other people and like their culture.
I think some people will say, and I'm going from some of the comments I've seen. So some people would say, because I've seen this comment where the person said, how many black people know about like the intricacies of this culture or that culture?
That's true.
Right? So they're saying that we are trying to, it's almost like a double standard type thing where we're trying to demand something when we're like, how versed are you in this? Right? So I'm just putting that there, like, from what other people, so what would you say to those people?
I mean, like, how, like, it takes common, I feel like you should know. I get what they're saying. Yes, I'm sure there's so many things about Japanese culture that we don't know, but I feel like there's often more times or not where we are on the wrong side of like the ignorance.
So the receiving end of
we're receiving more of it. That's global, I think. I think that's global. I don't think Japan stands out in that. But that person has a point. Like, yeah, sure, we have to learn more. Obviously, we all should learn, especially where we're going, we should learn more. But there's a lot of intricacies that are very deep that probably black people don't come in contact with every single day. However, a lot of Japanese people come in contact, we come in contact with a lot of Japanese people where like maybe every day something can happen, something negative can happen to a black person because of Japanese person's ignorance or whoever living here, their ignorance of black people. So I would say like we face it more often than not.
No, indeed, we out of all the people in the world.
Yeah, for
right?
real.
We and that's one of the reasons why some people, like, from the outside, they don't understand. I'm like, but y'all don't get it, right? Because I'm like, we live this experience.
Right.
So there are things that we go through that y'all wouldn't understand. And then if they, and I believe personally, if they were introspective and if they literally were being honest, they would think and say, you know what is my personal view of a black person? And if they really dug deep and thought about the conversation that they had, like that they have with like, their family and friends that aren't black, they might say, okay, if we think this way, can you imagine the people that you think, the way you think about them, how do we feel or what we go through? Because you're a part of the outer circle that has this view and you know what your friends are thinking. So imagine what we are experiencing on the other side of that. Right? So some people don't get it. And it's one of those things where people just don't get it until they're like, they're in the shoes of the person.
Some people never will get it. Never will get
and some of them don't want to get it.
True.
Right? But when we share our experiences, we're not trying to make something up. You understand? Like if you say it, just like you have an experience in your own life, and you're like, I experienced this. And people are like, no, you're like, but I did. No, how would you feel? It's almost like it's so infuriating. You're like,
it is.
Right? But you know, but yeah, just be a little bit more introspective, and not as just use this a little bit more. So what about your hair? How do you take care of it?
How do I take care of it? I'll show you how I take care of it.
I'll put the shea butter. I'm sure.
Yeah, man. Hold on. Let me find a better one. Hold on.
Okay.
This is how I take care of my hair.
All right.
Superior shade. Can you see
that's
that?
yours, right?
Can you see that?
Wait, let me see. Let me bring it a little bit closer.
Okay.
Okay, we're trying to get it to focus. Okay, let's see. Almost there. Come on.
It's not trying to focus. It's not trying to focus.
It's on autofocus too. I think it's on your face. Oh wait. Okay. But it's maybe from here, maybe you guys can see it.
Okay,
yeah. So it's Superior Shade. So it's his company, right?
Yes.
So you just rub it in?
So I take a shower. I also thank you to the beautiful black women in my family who have also sent over some wonderful hair products for me. I, condition my hair, shampoo my hair with organic products from Casadas. And then also I use my shea butter after I get out of the shower. To put in my hair, to condition it, keep it nice and moist. I'll use other products in my hair as well, some nice Obia Natural Moisturizer, sometimes some Shea Moisture Leave-In Conditioner. Yeah, mainly those three.
Okay.
The Superior Shea all the time.
So do you clip it or you just leave it to grow? No barber at all?
I don't do barbers.
Okay, I don't do barbers.
I haven't been to a barber shop since November 2014. Okay, it's been a long time. But I comb my hair out in the shower.
Listen, if I try, there was one point I had like long hair. Right? I don't know if y'all can see it, but like maybe I should put a picture. No, I won't. It was a stage of my life when I'm trying to be cool. And that stage, you got I had like two piercings here, one here.
Oh,
you got the long hair. I
look
like like those dancehall artists in Jamaica, if you know. So that was kind of like me with the sunglasses, shades, chains, whatever. And I was working at this company and they asked me to cut my hair. They suggested it, right? And to look more professional because of the job I was doing. Bro, my hair was so beautiful, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was like shiny black. I did. Yeah, it was beautiful, man. But hey, and now like I think I'm going bald now, so I'm getting old.
Man, I can never do that. I can never do that. That's one thing I stand by. If a company tells me I gotta cut my hair, it's not the company for me. Yeah.
If there was like one person, dead or alive, that you'd like to meet, that you could meet, who would it be? So anyone from antiquity, from centuries past or today. You could meet any person and you could literally sit here with them for 1 hour, have dinner or a drink, and just pick their brains. Who would that person be and why?
It would be the ancient Egyptian god Thoth, however you pronounce his name.
Is it?
Thoth.
Oh, okay.
I never know how to say it.
Okay, I can't pronounce it.
But he's the ancient god of wisdom, astrology, and hieroglyphics.
I see.
He's got so much wisdom to him. So I want the keys, man. I want the keys.
I think you're wearing one day,
Exactly. This is the embodiment of Thoth right here. I got the Ankon right here.
Okay.
So I would love to sit down.
So you're all about wisdom. So you're all about like seeking knowledge, right? So that's where you are.
Yes. Some very important in life.
So yeah, that's the most unusual one. People usually say some like someone, this person or that person, like, but you went all the way to Egypt, you went deep, right? Okay. So, like, what would you say is your proudest accomplishment to date?
My proudest accomplishment? Yeah. My proudest accomplishment. Wow. Well, I got a few.
Okay.
First was crossing Burning Sands, Spring 13, joining Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Other ones, graduating from Lehigh University as a black man, top 50 school in the U.S., like, huge accomplishment.
Nice.
Second one was
third one. Yeah.
My third one was my, like, starting the shea butter business, because it really didn't plan to become a business. It was really just a school project, just getting my master's thesis. But, like, I went to Ghana to learn about shea butter processing and the environmental issues behind it back in 2017, which is where my research started. And I got there just planning on to observe and to be a researcher. But they were like, no, you have to be a practitioner. Okay. You got to learn how to make it. So I'm like, all right. So went out to the bush, picked some shea fruits. The women in Tumu, Upper West Ghana, they took me through the process to make shea butter. A 3-day process to make shea butter. And I had a sample, about 5 kilograms of shea butter. They were like, take this back to the States and try to sell it. I'm like, all right. So I tried to sell it, and it sold out in 1 weekend.
Oh, wow.
When it sold
5 kilos?
5 kilos.
Oh, wow.
In 1 weekend. I didn't know what to expect, but I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
So that was, like, the first time I felt, especially with my entrepreneurship, I felt like what I'm doing is right, because there was purpose behind it.
Yes.
The purpose was to sell shea butter, sell shea butter, hydrate people's skin, have people love their skin more, and then also leave impact. This is a social impact.
Okay, so it's like social entrepreneurship.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Social enterprise, kind of?
Yeah. So we give 50% of our profits back to our cooperative in Ghana, the women in Ghana, for their healthcare, their farmlands, and their children's school materials. So, like, when I sold that, I was like, okay, I'm doing something right, and it feels good, and I want to keep doing this. So starting that business was one of the proudest moments in my life.
Oh, wow. So you've been to Ghana?
Yeah, plenty of times.
So how is it? Is that where you get your supply from?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah. Okay, so supporting the motherland, as I would say.
Exactly.
Okay, so how was your experience when you went to Ghana?
What, man? Ghana is the best place in the world.
Oh, wow, you hear that?
Best place in the world, man. Like, it's such a welcoming vibe. Like, when you get there, when you land in Ghana, they'll tell you, welcome home.
Oh, wow.
Like, as a black person, welcome home. First time going to Ghana, like, first time going to Africa, people tell you, welcome home.
Wow.
You're like, wow, like, that feels so good. Like, feels so good. Like, you feel so I'm getting chills speaking about it. Like, you feel so connected to people, to the earth there, like, the environment, like, fresh food everywhere. Like, people are so welcoming. People calling you brother. People calling you sister. Like, things like that. Like, it's just a very welcoming vibe. And there's a lot of history there and a lot of beautiful things to see, a lot of different cultures to learn about as well. So it's just a beautiful place.
So you would encourage people that are watching to visit?
I would encourage you to visit tomorrow, yesterday, next week. Go to Ghana.
It's funny because the episode number 4 of the podcast that me and my wife do, right? We were talking about Africa, literally, and where we want to go. And she was listing all the places, like Ghana, Nigeria, Rwanda. She was going through the list, and like literally we were saying, like, I'm like, we gotta go to visit.
You gotta go.
So I'm like, okay, I think maybe I put Ghana, maybe the first place I visit. Okay, see,
this year is the year of the return.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, it's the year of return.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you should go sometime.
It's funny that you said that, like, the way the business came about, and that's something that people should look out for. Sometimes something will find you. Right? It's not like you're seeking or searching for it.
Right.
It just happened upon you, right?
It just happened.
So sometimes be aware of those things, the unexpected. Expect the unexpected, especially when it comes down to business. Because I have a similar story as well. Like, sometimes you're doing something and it pivots. That wasn't the intention, but it's you're like, okay, so just go with the flow, just like you said.
Go with the flow, man. Just keep flowing.
Go with the flow, because the water knows where it's going, right? Which is so like, it's
that was a good one. The water knows where it's going. That's hard right there.
On the spot, okay.
That's hard.
But you know, it makes sense though. Yeah. And it's something that sometimes we're trying to, it's funny because sometimes we're trying to go in one direction, but we're being pulled somewhere else. And sometimes we're ignoring that pull, but you followed it.
Yeah.
And it led you to where you are, right? You went there, you sold it. So yeah, support this man's business. I'll put the link in the description down below, right? So you know we're all about like black businesses. Y'all know it. All over the world, wherever you are, we are for you. We're here for you. Right? So that's what we're about. So any advice for people who want to go into business, like young people who are thinking maybe we ain't got the resources, we ain't got this, we ain't got that. Anything you want to impart to them to encourage them to step out?
Yeah, I would just say start. Like you're gonna have doubts, but like just start. Something that's worked for me was just to like kind of get past those doubts and just make a product and do your best. Just do your best. Definitely try to talk with people who can give you some wisdom and consult you. Like I talk to my mother for a lot of advice. She's an entrepreneur. Talk to my uncle a lot, my father. They're all entrepreneurs for a lot of advice. Find some mentors who can help you out. Some people who are in your field you can ask questions. Yeah, I would say like the biggest thing that holds people back is doubt and kind of like feeling maybe it's not good, maybe they're not ready. And I feel like a lot of times people feel like maybe their product isn't ready, like it's not good enough. But like you are your worst enemy. You're your worst enemy, but you can also be your best friend as well. So like you gotta kind of find that perfect balance and then just release something to the world. There's 7 billion people in the world. Someone's gonna like your product.
Right?
Someone's gonna like it. 100%. Someone's gonna like it. Someone's gonna buy it, and someone's gonna encourage you to keep going because they love what you do.
100%. Like that's it. It's like someone said done is better than perfect. Because sometimes we're trying to like do it and trying to perfect this thing, but the timing will never be just right. Never. All the conditions won't be perfect, because you don't know all the variables. As much as you're trying, there might be something that you have not even thought about that might affect what you think is perfection. So just get the first thing, go out, then you can like iterate a little bit. You just like improve a little bit. That's the way to do it. You just gotta get out there and just do it, man. Like for real.
Facts.
Like listen, if you don't do it, ain't nothing gonna happen.
Nothing gonna happen. No one's gonna do it for you.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
All right.
If you could change one thing in the world, I like asking this question, what would it be?
Wow. I just want peace, man. Peace and love. Is that two things? Peace and love. Is that too much to ask for?
Right, that's it, right? Peace and love, right? So unity across humanity.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's no need for like barriers exist, yes, but like there's no need for barriers to be that high that you have to look down upon someone, or you have to like feel spiteful towards someone, or give off an overwhelming amount of negative energies towards someone. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't exist. Like you're about positivity, I'm about positivity, and I'm sure more people in the world prefer positivity. They probably prefer peace within. So if you have peace within, you can give peace without, Indeed. So I would say peace. Peace and love.
Peace. So the next one, how about like, what's one message? I guess that it's kind of like the same thing, because you could change that. So do you have a message for the world? If you had 10 seconds to share something with the world, like 7 point whatever billion people, almost 8 billion, you had like this megaphone and you had access to everyone's minds for 10 seconds. You could say something, what would it be?
Spread your light, eliminate ego, be superior. That's it.
Okay, so talk about the superior one. What's that? Some people might think that...
True.
Yeah, so break it down a little bit. Break it
down. We are not superior to others. We're superior to ourselves and who we used to be.
Nice. I like that.
That's it.
It's like striving to become better than you were.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, constant improvement.
Right?
Life is a journey.
It is a journey. Right? It is a journey. A long journey.
All right. What's the biggest risk you've taken? Because I don't think you're risk averse because you're in business. So usually, well, some business people are, but are you on that side of risk, or are you more risk averse, or you're just like impervious to it?
Sometimes I don't like taking risks.
Okay.
Because I feel, risks are scary. They're scary. But I think my biggest risk was coming to Japan.
Okay.
To move across the world from my whole entire support system.
Okay.
And try to start business in Japan and move my business to Japan. I think that's been the biggest risk I've taken. And since being here, I've had to take risks. I've had to learn to trust people. I've had to like kind of like feel okay. Like I want something to happen. I don't know their skill level. I don't know this and that. Like, but I want something to happen. They potentially can make it happen. Let me trust them. Like, this is a risk I have to take if I'm willing to like try to succeed. So coming here was the first big race, and then doing other things to allow myself to flourish have been pretty big risks.
Oh wow, that's big. That's big. Wow. Okay. So what about, this is kind of like on the next side of things.
Okay.
I think I saw comments where someone was like, "You never ask about dating in Japan." So we got to go there. If it's non-existent, I understand, because like sometimes we're so focused on doing what we're doing that we ain't got time. But tell me about that. Like, if there's anything to divulge, you can. If not, we can move on. What's dating like in Okayama?
I don't know. I've never dated anyone in Japan.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
You're focused on what you're doing.
Yes,
understood.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so any advice for people who are looking to come here, like black people, from wherever they are in the world? If they want to come here for maybe school, work, study, business, any advice, anything that you want to impart on them that you learned since coming here?
Yeah, I would say try to study Japanese when you come here. There's a lot of nuances that it's tough to get around, and it's easy to get shut down, especially if you can't speak to people who are maybe in a little higher power, and it's easy to get turned away. And to get turned off by things. It's easy to get frustrated. You might not find a strong support system. So I would try to say, like, try to learn Japanese as best as you can. I would try to say, like, don't be afraid to put yourself out there, to meet new people. Get the best out of the experience here. If you want to come here, like, try to do some martial arts, or like try to like join a club, or like do something in your local town if you're in a small town, something like that. Get out, travel, and see Japan. Meet new friends. Yeah, that would be my advice.
Did you have any misconception about life in Japan? And so when you came here, you realized that, okay, the way I thought about this thing was actually a misconception. Any?
Misconception. Maybe not misconception, maybe no misconception. Besides the speaking, I expected everyone to have standard Japanese.
Oh, okay.
I guess maybe that's a misconception. Yeah, I expected that. That was not the case. I was totally thrown back by that.
Okay.
I'd say that's probably the biggest one. Other than that, it was probably just like me not knowing as much, or maybe like, yeah, maybe me just not knowing as much from Japan or about Japan. That was just kind of like, oh wow, you guys do it this way? That's strange. Or like, that's different.
Okay.
All right, sure, I guess we gotta rock with that.
And where can people find you online?
Y'all can find me on Facebook, Miles J. Davis. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at Flyer Miles J. Flyer has 3 R's, FLYERRRMILESJ.
Okay. Do you have like a secret superpower? Something you're really good at that most people don't really know?
I don't know about that. Maybe just being a positive guy. People always tell me I'm so positive. Like, even when I think I'm just chilling, people are like, wow, you're so positive. So, I don't know, maybe that. Like some, yeah, I guess that. Like, I guess that.
So you have the power of positivity.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
All right, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, thank you so much.
Guys, this was Miles Davis, right? So you've been officially introduced to Miles. In the description down below, we're going to leave the links to his businesses so you guys can go and support him. Find him on Twitter, Instagram. Well, Instagram, are you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter too.
Okay, so Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can check out his website as well. Thank you for watching, guys. Remember, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for weekly videos on the Black experience across the globe. Bye for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to share your story or have us visit your region, send us a message on any of our social media platforms or via our website.
That's good.